All right. We previously looked at each position individually versus the empty-handed attacker in terms of our technical walkthrough from each position, as well as the aggressor flow exercises, which can get higher levels of intensity, but are structurally different from our attack simulations, similar to how it'll be when we look at the weaponry aspects of Nunchaku versus other weapons. Okay, so because we looked at those individually, I left out doing the attack simulation on the individual positions because attack simulation shouldn't be limiting. So we'll look at the attack simulation as a whole, and I may or may not use certain positions entirely. And we'll see how that works. So again, reminder, the attack simulation, his goal is purely to get me, okay? He has the attackers have very little regard for self-injury versus when somebody is more committed to actually fighting you. Even if they are fairly aggressive, they have a little bit higher level of self-protection during the engagement, okay? So that's what we'll see now. Again, in terms of being attacked while having Nunchaku, very low, okay? You need a time machine to go back in time for something like that. But even then, historically, there was very little evidence that this happened much for street engagements either. And if anything, if it's swung out and somebody starts swinging, that's usually a good deterrent. But nonetheless, the mechanics are similar to a stick, and if you can deal with a nunchaku, you can probably deal with a stick really well, even though a stick is easier to use. So just a slight caveat. But yeah, let's take a look at that, and we will do a slow-mo walkthrough as well, and a brief overview after the initial engagement. We will look at this from two perspectives in terms of the aggressor. One as a strike dominant perspective, where his goal is to try to hit me as much as possible. And then we'll look at this from a grappling dominant perspective, where he has a higher goal of trying to grab me and take me down in some way, okay? So it just does two different mindsets. Doesn't mean he can't throw strikes during the second one. That doesn't mean he can't go for some sort of grab or takedown during the first one, but that will be the dominant perspective of what we're looking at from this aggressor. I think I'll also try to do this both from one as a more readied position and one as a more caught off guard position, just so we have a little bit of contrast in where I'm starting, etc. Okay, so let's get into that. All right, let's try to start with the striking perspective, and I will start from being fully ready. I will go with, we talked about our perspective. I'll actually go with the highest percentage perspective that we talked about in terms of keeping somebody at bay, which was the shoulder position / rear hang, where I have all this momentum to keep my opponent away. All right, ready, full force, go. And
Okay, he rushes in with the strike, swing right to the face using the length of the nunchaku, back swing to the elbow, backing up, upswing, might have clipped the hand, nothing major, but good shot to the top of the head, and then another backswing right across the ribs as I'm circling around to get out of the way. These would have been highly sufficient hits.
you okay? Yeah. So, obviously, if I'm fully ready and have distance, this is just going to be so easy. I wham, face, ribs. I think I got a second one into the ribs. These just would have been, you know, devastating blows into an opponent like that. So now let's take a little bit of look at that when we're, you know, attack simulation, right? We're trying to get a little bit closer to I was attacked. Let's take a look at this from a less ready position. I'll start in my double position and we'll see how that goes. All right, so I'm starting in double position. I'm actually going to look off briefly, and he will go at a random point after I wave him. Okay. Nice.
Okay, rushing in, moving back. Ooh, he's afraid. Wham, right across. Backswing, clip that elbow again. Use my other hand, control the distance a bit, hit to the hip, and then big power swing to that knee. So you can see how I'm making follow through on the swing, so I have space and time to air brake, which is really important.
Okay? Yeah. All right, good. So I was able to catch that coming out of my eye. I think I actually missed on the first thing. I got my stick open and took those knees out really, really quickly. Okay. Let's look at one more. Let's make this even less ready. Actually, I will sheath the nunchaku. Semi sheath. Don't have an actual sheath. Alright, start the engagement with some sort of push or something. I'll have to tell what you're doing.
Okay, he's approaching, comes up, here's the push, there's my reaction, bring the hand up, trying to gain some sort of physical or visual jam, slight block there, come through with the double hand strike, and then open up on the backhand to hit the ribs. Coming in for a big swing, I'm actually able to swing over the arm really nicely, crashing down on the head, and then back across the hands. It was just devastating blow that would have ended the fight.
Very nice. So again, I used empty hand first, positioning, grabbed my nunchaku, wham wham, got that big head strike, and was able to maintain and create my space there. So see how that ready position or the rear hang position from my swings is just going to be the easiest, highest likelihood to get something out of. Let's do one more. I will go with a ready position, and we'll do it more like we did the second one. Okay. Ready? Go at a random point. Ready?
All right, I'm waiting in ready position as the turn to strike. Again, semi-random. Here he goes, he comes in, big strike, trying to get my hands up. Hey, look, there's my high block, more with the arm, pushing through and away. Then looks like he's about to throw this jab. I try to go for the down swipe, miss as he goes for the other arm, but I move in and then go over the head, pull the head down, which is really nice. And then as he goes to get up and stable himself on his knees, I get a crushing choke across the neck. It's ended really nicely. Getting that neck control, pull down, and crush choke.
So again, not too bad. Put up my cover as I was getting distance. I got the crush choke like we talked about over the head, right, which works nice from my high block over the head, down, pull, and crush into the neck. So it ended up working really nicely. All right, let's look at the same thing from the grappling perspective. Let's go back to the first one. I'll start in that rear hang position again. With plenty of distance, I know this person is, okay, so your goal is to try to grab / throw me down. Okay.
Okay, he's gonna rush in to try and grab me this time. Waiting, here it goes, it comes in, I'm ready to strike, he puts his arm up, but I crash down on that arm anyway, and use the next opening across the ribs. Coming around, trying to protect his head, but the Nunchaku can loop over and get the head, which is nice. 1, 2, again, but that one was a miss. As we circle around, coming back to my shoulder position, that one was a nice one to the side of the head, and then back here, basically good.
Very nice, big swings. I did notice I did hit myself once in the back of the head, which with the action flex is fine, but it would have been unpleasant, but not something I couldn't have pushed through for that. Again, creating my space, opening up, and just worked out really nicely. Okay, let's look at the same thing. Less ready. I'll start from that double position. I'll look off, and he'll go at a random time point. Get that knee is underway.
Alright, he's rushing in, not as aware. Look, there's a jam, get an overhook, trying to get my Nunchaku up, thrusting. He goes to try to grab the Nunchaku, rotate around so that I can pull it down and out, coming over and down with the butt strikes. Goes to protect his head and move around, going for, here he starts to go for my knees, so I have to watch out for that. Start sprawling, moving backwards and sprawl. To the other side, I open up the Nunchaku, moving around. I'm going to try to go for a leg trap, foot trap that we talked about. And I am able to get it between the legs, decently high, but I rotate as I lift and pull the Nunchaku to bring his body up and over, so he's only staying on one leg until he has to fall down. From here, I release after, well, continue pressure first, so that he's fully down, then a release. Continue pushing as I get up so that I have clearance. And going right to the kid. Oh, that was more to the hip. Coming up and over, down again onto the arm, and then as I exit, just take out that knee. Here it comes. Big down on the knee to mitigate the opponent's ability to get up and continue trying to attack me.
Alright, so a little bit harder, obviously, because I'm looking off. I'm in the less ready position. Covered. I was able to get that arm pretty quickly. Tried to go for my thrusts, hammers, and open, just like we talked about, right? That was our methodology from the double position. I maybe tried a little too hard, but I did able to get under and around to the leg for a foot trap that I was able to throw the opponent with and then go to town. All right, just like we did before, let's look at the one last one with from a sheath position. Okay, so from a sheath position, I have to get my nunchaku out, and we'll start the engagement from some sort of aspect of randomness. I'll be looking away. He can rush in. He can start with a push or some sort of fake walk up. I have no idea how or when he's going, but again, his goal is to grab me, probably take me down, or hold me as he hits. Okay.
Okay, he's trying to trick me a little bit, play with the timing, and there he goes. Try to sprawl. I got my arms. I got one underhook and throwing some elbows, hammer fists with the other arm. My nunchaku aren't out yet, so I have to work with my empty hand first. Slip back into the other underhook, it looks like, and work my rotations so that he can't get my knees. Keeping that one elbow really high. Oh, there we go, leveling them out, both underhooks. Use that switch in rotation as he starts to go down. Keep my sprawl. Here I'm able to go for my nunchaku. Pull him out. Get a quick thrust into the ribs. 1, 2, 3. The third one only landed on arm. And then butt strikes down onto the spine. Keeping that underhook control as he's trying to put pressure into getting up. There's the butt strikes onto the back of the neck. Still pushing, driving into that shoulder as I loop the arm around. Continue pressure. Try and bring my nunchaku up, and I actually end up looping over the arm and grabbing with the other hand, so I end up with an arm trap. Pulling him off balance with that arm trap. He didn't realize it until it was too late. Falls over, follow the momentum of the arm, while also moving away from that far arm potential strikes. And then as he goes to recoil, there I'm able to just crush and rip into the bicep and really subdue the opponent. So it was nice to see all these pieces come together.
So, obviously a lot harder. I don't know where things are coming from. My weapon is sheathed. So I dealt with the attack as best I could to start. Got my positioning. Tried to watch my knees, as we always should, right? So the opponent doesn't wrap my knees. So as I'm moving and trying to stuff, I'm circling and moving my knees until I can get my weapon out. Thrust. Hammer. Actually, I started off with, I think I had one hammer fist in there that I started off with trying to do. And then as I got it out, I actually got a trap on the arm and a crush on the upper bicep. So all in all, ended up working out really nice. Nunchaku does work. But again, the skill in training a nunchaku is to try to elevate your own skill level so that you're not necessarily using this, but this just makes you better with everything else you do. Okay, so having that mental flexibility of all the other things I need to pay attention for. Okay, so work on those, see what you can do. Again, if you're going to run drills like this, get the action flex, make sure you have safety equipment on. Okay, in terms of this one, we don't need a whole lot, but again, just be mindful and train hard.